If you're still wondering why wedding photographers are not cheap, this is the part 2 video of why wedding photographers are expensive. But before I start, my name is Ken from Kennfoo Weddings. I'm a professional wedding photographer traveling all around the world to shoot for my client. So let's go! So in this part 2 video, I'll be sharing with you guys 3 more reasons why wedding photographers are expensive. And by the end of this video, I'll also be sharing with you guys a bonus reason why you can find cheap photographers in the wedding industry. So reason number 1, we're not only selling you a one-day photo shoot, but instead, we're selling you years of our experience as a wedding photographer.
Wow, few hours of work only, where got so expensive?
Yes, of course. As a professional wedding photographer, we are able to handle situations using our years of experience when things don't go as planned. And in most cases, we are able to handle situations just like that. A good example are the problems I faced in part 1 of this video. And for those who haven't checked it out, I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can watch it later. We are also able to give you guys pre-shooting tips and advices. And we will know what to expect in situations and give you guys the best tip to overcome or prevent certain problems from happening. I'll give you guys an example on a pre-shooting tip that I always tell my couples. That is, no matter what, you guys have to maintain a good relationship throughout the shoot and never argue while shooting. Why? It's just because if you argue, your sour faces and your bad mood will eventually show in the photos. And this is true, guys, because I've been through it a lot of times. Our experience ensures you get the best out of a photo shoot. A good example is after a few shots with my couples, I can always tell which expression is best suited for them. Whether they are great looking cool or are they better with smiles and laughters. And sometimes they look amazing in both. I can also know which is my couple's best photo angle. All this so they look best in all of their shots. Reason number 2. We are professionals. And this is so obvious that this is always being ignored.
So expensive? You're just a cameraman, you know.
You know, guys, we are trained and specialized in wedding photography. It's just like how doctors are trained as specialists, for example, a brain surgeon or a cardiologist. We are always ignored as professionals because not everyone on the street can perform a brain surgery, but everyone on the street can take photos. But you have to remember, your uncle or your best friend doesn't possess our creative eyes and mind, and certainly doesn't possess our years of experience and training. You know, we are so trained in handling photography that we can change our camera settings like it's part of our reflexes. It's just like how you just blink your eyes. And reason number 3, we fully dedicate our time before, during and after your photo shoot and work closely with you to make sure your dream wedding photographs come true.
Aiyah, few hours of work and just press shutter only, where got so expensive?
No, it's never only a few hours of work. We start our journey with our couples by pre-planning your photography session. This includes several meetings with them, endless conversation via email and WhatsApp, proposing shooting locations and concepts, working and planning on shooting locations plus guiding them alongside each and every step. And sometimes when couples make certain requests, we will use our expertise and pour our own idea into their idea to achieve better outcomes. Then after that comes the shooting day itself. For this, you guys can see a good example in part 1 of this video, and I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to check it out. And finally comes the post-production, where we spend hours and hours behind our computers perfecting our couple's shots. Just to give you an example of the amount of work we have to go through. On a wedding day, we can capture around 1,500 to 2,000 photos. And with that photos, we will need to do multiple backups on our backup systems. And after that, we have to go through each and every one of them through the filtering stage. Once the photos have been filtered, we will now need to post-process them, where we will edit each and every one of the shots. And this can range from 800 to 1,000 photos. All in all, we averagely spend a good few months on a wedding assignment. As for myself, the longest I spent in an assignment with a client is about 2 years. From when we met for the first time, to the destination pre-wedding photography, to the actual wedding, until the day we delivered their photos.
To sum it up, guys, here's a quick recap on the 3 more reasons why wedding photographers are expensive. Number 1, we are not selling one-day photo shoots, but are selling couples our years of experience. Number 2, we have the experience that will ensure you get the best out of everything in your photo shoot. And number 3, we fully dedicate our time before, during and after our couple's wedding photography session. That's another 3 more reasons why wedding photographers are expensive, guys. But this is not the end of this video.
So as promised, I have for you guys a bonus reason why you can find cheap photographer in this market. So the most common reason why some wedding photographers are cheap is, number 1, the photographer is just starting out and they will do anything to get a job and add your wedding to their portfolio.
Okay lah. 500 can already lah.
Now you have to be careful as this is dangerous because they have zero or little experience in shooting weddings. Any mistakes that they shouldn't make might cost your precious moments not captured. Number 2, they are your friends or family members.
Ayah, uncle shoot free for you lah.
Now you have to be careful and think twice if you really want your friends and families to help you out. As they are just doing you a favor, this leaves you with no room to make any requests or even give comments if they're not doing a good job. And number 3, guys, the photographer might be desperate for jobs or they're just not dedicated enough to respect their job. They might be thinking like how you're thinking.
Photographer's job easy lah. I got camera can do photographer already what.
Now again, you gotta be careful with photographers like this. Because if they don't respect their own job, don't expect them to be putting efforts in whatever they're doing. Now I've met quite a lot of photographers and videographers who are like this, and they just show up to the couple's wedding wearing worn out t-shirt with Bermuda shorts, and during vow exchange ceremony, they were just standing at the cocktail bar eating your macarons and sipping up your liquors. So you have to ask yourself, do you really want to hire a cheap photographer to cover your once-in-a-lifetime occasion?
To summarize again, here's a quick recap on why you can find cheap wedding photographers in the market. Number 1, the photographer is just starting out and are desperate to add your wedding to their portfolio. Number 2, the photographer is your friend or family members. Well, for this, you might most probably get it for free. And number 3, guys, the photographer isn't a dedicated one and doesn't respect their own profession.
So there you have it, guys, the part 2 of why wedding photographers are expensive. So the question is it really necessary to hire a professional wedding photographer for your wedding? Well, the answer is it depends on your preference. But 99% of the time we hear stories from other couples saying how they regret hiring cheap photographers or their friends to shoot for them, and how they wish they had hired a professional wedding photographer instead. So now you know, guys, why wedding photographers are not cheap. If you find this video helpful, guys, do hit the like button and share it with the friends and families. Until then, I'm Ken from Kennfoo Weddings, and I'll see you guys again.